Welcome to the Drowning Winch. Sit wherever you like, lass. I'll be with you in a... Hey, Batterin, I'm Batterin, alright? Who's asking? Ah, or does it have a job for a capable adventurer, you say? Well, you're bloody right. That's so you're fairly warned, though. This ain't no job for the faint of heart. Things are liable to go downright bleeding hairy. But if you think you're still interested, let me know, and I'll fill you in on all the details. I am indeed. I thank you for taking the time to help me out. I'm sure you're super busy, so I'll come straight to the point. Word has it that some suspicious-looking buggers have been sneaking in and out of the Sastasha Sea Grotto, and they a trustworthy sort to head up north of the airport and find out who they are and what they're up to. I can't even read English. I got used to him being in whatever the hell he speaks. So, that was interesting. One sec. There we go. Don't sound like much, I know. But it weren't so long as the Fishback's pet pirates paid us an unwelcome visit. And folk are feeling a bit nervous. I hate this man. If you would permit me, Master Batterin, I should be happy to elaborate. Yes, thank you. Anybody else talking, thank you. Well, if it ain't the Chief of the Yellow Jackets himself, to what do we owe this rare honor, Commander Commodore Raynor? Gonna make sure me patrons are behaving, or just thirsty? Neither. I was informed that you had requested an adventurer to assist in my investigation, and I came to offer what information I could, sift from recent reports. Over the course of the past moon, there have been several sightings of an unfamiliar vessel off the coast of Airport, in the vicinity of the Isles of Umbra. This information come to my attention no more than a few weeks after a squad of my own soldiers had completed a routine patrol of the region, the Sastasha Sea Grotto included. Their search revealed little, save a family of Corels had taken up residence in the caves. Nothing to concern us, in short. In light of recent developments, however, it would seem wise to search Sastasha again. But with the Hagen testing our defenses daily, I am loath to assign the task to the limited forces at my disposal. Our line is stretched as it is. Thus I sought the services of a competent adventurer to conduct an investigation in our stead. Any aid you can offer in the matter would be greatly appreciated. Then it is settled. Sastasha is located in western Eorzea. For more detailed instructions on how to reach the place, I suggest you consult Vimpella. She can be found at the ferry docks of the lower decks. Yeah, the man. Good luck to you, lass. Oh. It's a mouthful there, not gonna lie. Okay, we have a bunch of blues that just popped up here. One of them I know for sure I'm taking. We all know how it feels to have had one too many. That's why I'll not fault our patrons for much of what goes on our tables. But is it too much to ask that they keep their belongings on their person when they leave? Wouldn't bother me so much if half of them didn't show up a week later, ranting and raving as if their drunken heedlessness were somehow my fault. Take this impressive-looking journal right here. As off as it seemed to be used, I have no doubt it's the owners tearing up the town searching for the prized possession. A stranger he was, a swarthy Rogerdan who enjoyed his drink. Seemed to be getting on well with one of our regulars, Quintinian. Perhaps you could still catch up with him and spare me the headache? I'd offer you a free drink, but last time I did, that Batterin docked my wages. Sad. Okay. I do want to change my hair, so. You're either a brave woman or a fool to be wandering the streets of Limsa today. What with the slasher fisherman's bottom on the loose? You haven't heard? There's a madman about. Why, it's said he brandished his blade so long and sharp as he got a whole whale. No one's seen any blood yet, but that hasn't stopped the rumors from sending shivers up my spine in every alehouse in town. That you're still standing before me tells me you don't scare easily as the rest. Perhaps you could assist me with the investigation? To start with, you might want to look into that stream I just heard outside. Shudder. Oh, he's crafting. I was like, why do I hear a clock chiming? What's going on? Have I seen who? Look, just because I spend more nights at the winch than in my own home doesn't mean that I'm mates with every sod who comes stumbling through the doors. Wait, that bloody book! Why didn't you say so sooner? The tight-arse bastard drained 20 flagons and promptly passed out, leaving yours truly to fit the bill. He looks very tired. Said he was heading for Ailport High. Where else? The scurvy sop, excuse me. And I may have willing he's still stranded at the ferry docks, though gods know it won't help me get my gil back. Okay. Go through here real quick. Weather out here is nice. I like this sort of overcast thing. Big fan. What are you waiting for? That's him, the slasher. Apprehend him, toss him in the gale, and throw away the key. Or gut him and feed his lifeless body to the sharks for all I care. Just do something. Woe is me. Whatever did I deserve this cruel fate? For 6 moons I saved every last gil of my husband's hard-earned wage, foraging new shoes, a new purse, sometimes even food for our children, all in anticipation of this day. What's so special about today, you ask? Why, this day marks the arrival of world-renowned esthetician in Limsa. My endless patience and self-control were to be rewarded with a hair-raising transformation that would have every fashion-conscious Limosan oohing and awing in admiration. Instead, I find myself across from this lecherous lout. Speaking of which, weren't you going to do something about this? Go ahead and have your way with him. I doubt he has anything to say for himself. There we go. I found this is easier than the other way. Assuming you don't do that, you know. Oh, the ignominy of it all. Of course you take her side. For shame, is there not one sympathetic ear in this entire nation? An artiste of my renown should be welcomed with open arms, and a 20-cannon salute. Instead, I am rendered a criminal. The tools of my trade, nay, the extensions of my very soul, ripped unceremoniously from my person like barnacles from the side of a frigate. I will not last long in my weakened state. No, even as we speak, the world around me grows dim. With my dying breaths, I speak upon you 3 names. The 3 kind souls who may put right what has gone rightfully wrong. Forge Master Hanaza of Naldican Vermilias, Guild Master Beaton of the Carpenters Guild, and Severin of the Alchemist Guild. If there is an ounce of compassion in you, seek them out and tell them Gendalian sent you. When my soul is restored and my name rightfully cleared of all Limsa, nay, the entire realm, will I sing your praises. For I, Gendalian, am none other than the Ass. The Ass. Ah! There you go. It's a fun little cutscene, honestly. It's nothing major, but it's one that you have to travel everywhere for, and since we're doing that anyway, might as well pick it up. Gendalian sent you? Let me guess, that balmy fool's lost his tools. Pardon me, the appendages of his very soul again, and is thrashing and tossing like the end of days is nigh. The man brings it on himself. If he toned down the theatrics and went about his work a little like an earnest craftsman, I dare say he'd save himself these misunderstandings. No, I'm not a whit of sympathy for the fool. You, however, have my pity indeed for having to play audience to his whinging. Any road, this should shut him up for a while. Tell him that if he loses these, I'll graft the next pair onto his bloody hands. She's quite funny. Oh. First off, this guy. You have business with me, be quick about it. Me ferry and me next great adventure awaits. My journal. Why, I thought I'd lost it forever. Pardon my rudeness, friend. Perhaps I should have stopped about after the 19th flagons. Har har har. Did you steal a glance at the pages, perchance? No. A shame that, for this book contains how might I say it, a record of my numerous adventures. Quite the inspiring read, I do say so myself, which I believe I just did. Ha ha! You've the air of an adventurer about you, if one's still untested. But take heart, even the most accomplished adventurer, and I speak from personal experience, was once a whelp with more dreams than sense. Were there only some way for me to repay you? Oh, but of course. I have a fresh journal right here that you might as well have your name on it. Why not keep a record of your own, that one day we might regale each other with stories of our deeds? And with that I shall be off, for adventure at a flagon or 20 of the realm's finest ale calls me. Fare you well on your journey, and next time you find yourself with a wench, do thank that Elzen fellow for his generosity. Ha ha ha! That is the challenge log. Probably, if I were a smarter person, probably should have waited to do the gold saucer until after I unlocked that. Didn't think about it at all. Main benefit to this, it resets every Tuesday, is for me right now, this 30,000 gold. That's a pretty good benefit. You should probably go for these all the time if you're trying to build up MGP. Honestly, the challenges alone will get you there in a couple of weeks to most things that you want. If you want the higher end stuff, it might take a couple months, but it's free and it's stuff that you're doing anyway. Mostly it's experience in gold. Crafting experience is pretty good on these, I will say. Gathering is even more so, but either way. You'll hear about the Commodore Raider's investigation? Then you'll want to board a ferry for airport. Once you arrive in West Lominsa, though, you'd best pay a visit to the Hall of the Novice before you blunder into Sastasha. The Adventurers Guild runs the hall, and the folk there will prepare you and train you with the skills you need to face the dangers undoubtedly awaiting you in the sea grots. The hall is on the way to Sastasha, just north of airport. Head inside, and one of those seasoned adventurers will take you in hand. Best of luck to you, friend. We'll go from there. Seasoned adventurer. Ah, you must be the brave adventurer of whom the Yellow Jackets send word. I hear you are, to brave the depths of the Sastasha Sea Grot. That's a woman. Didn't realize, sorry. The occupants of those caves are rumored to be as numerous as they are bloodthirsty. No matter what the epic tales would have you believe, strolling into such a den of savagery alone would be the height of foolishness. No, you shall need companions. And you shall need the training we here at the Hall of Novice can provide. I strongly suggest that you study the fundamentals of group combat before continuing on your mission. The smith here oversees the training schedules. Speak with him and you can register for exercises tailored to your particular field of expertise. Yeah, no, I see him over there, thank you. When you've mastered all there is to master, all that our masters have to teach, then it would be time to head north once more. Report to the Yellow Jacket Scout at the mouth of the Sastasha Sea Grot, and he will furnish you with the details of your duty. Duty. I'm so sorry. I really like that they make you sort of acknowledge these things now. Please tell me you're here on Yellow Jacket duty and not some daft sod out for a stroll. I can't take any more of this blasted waiting. You are? Thank the gods. I assume you already know about the ships seen around the Isles of Umbra? We've been on the lookout for pirate activity ever since that vessel was sighted. Thinking a crew of cutthroats might have a den nearby. So when we received word of a man of questionable quality had been seen passing in and out of Sastasha here, we were not entirely surprised. I've yet to see them for myself, but if this lot belongs to those fishbacks fancying serpent reavers, well, you can imagine the panic it'll cause. The kidnappings are still fresh in people's minds. Anyway, your task is to poke around the caves and find out who exactly we're dealing with. While you do that, I'll be keeping a watch out here, praying you don't spot any blue-face tattoos. Okay. Just like that, we have been given our first ever dungeon. So we have two options. Both are good options. I prefer to always go in with people. It is an MMO. If you couldn't tell, I am not shy. So I prefer this option. Second option is to go in with a party of NPCs. If you go in with a party of NPCs, you will have a much slower time of it. The NPCs are not designed to be efficient. They are very slow and quite annoying, to be honest. I'm not a fan of the NPCs. So you can do it that way, just know that it will take longer. The upside of that, and this is a good community, but the upside of that is that you will get more time to spend like exploring a little bit, depending on the party you go into it. And especially if you have a keyboard, people are usually pretty patient and they'll definitely work with you. So if you say, hey, you know, first time here, I want to take in the scenery, they will almost always, you know, do that for you. They're a pretty good community. So keep that in mind. First dungeon. I am super excited, travelers. There's a lot of dungeons. Dungeons are among my favorite type of content. It's just a little adventure, and all of them have their own lore, which is super interesting. As we know now, there have been kidnappings. The Serpent Reavers, which are a fanatical faction dedicated to Sahagin and the, whatchamacallit, their god Leviathan, have been causing some trouble in the area. And we have been sent to check out the Sea Grot and see what the hell's going on. So let's figure it out. And let me not forget that I'm a healer. Try to keep this guy alive.
Dust on the pages, ink on my hands. Watching the hourglass shifting the sands. The candle is burning, the world is asleep. Secrets and stories for only me to keep. Drifting through the ages.
There we go.
Turning the pages.
Okay, so this is Chopper. He is the Corel guardian of Sastasha. I don't know, there's not a whole lot of lore about him. I believe he belongs to Captain Morgan. We're going to see in here in a minute. Morganson, I believe, actually. Morgan's the alcohol. Okay, greed. So you got two options. You can need it if you feel like it's something that you can use and it's your main class or main role. Or you can greed it, which is something that's like, yeah, I don't need it for this, but maybe I need it for another character. I just want to sell it, break it down for parts, whatever. Generally speaking, it's a pretty good system. I don't know of anybody that dislikes it. You pretty much just get to pick it if it's yours. You get first dibs. If you don't want it at all, like you're so high level that you just don't even like care, right? You just pass. That's it. Straightforward. Scatterby dogs. Yarr. Captain Madison. Madison. Eh, close enough. Madison, Morgan, Morganson, whatever else.
Dust on the pages, ink on my hands. Watching the hourglass shifting the sands. The candle is burning, the world is asleep. Secrets and stories for only me to keep. Drifting through the ages, just turning the pages. Time is just a circle. Yeah.
Okay, so, brief little lore tidbit. This entire time we have been following Captain Madison, who's sort of this dumb pirate boss, you might say. Psh, you sully our spawning ground, shore walker. And this is the real boss here. This is Din the Orca-Toothed. He is a Sahagin. The Lord of the World shall shape upon your soul. So sup upon your soul, excuse me. Alright, so, a couple things about this fight. Very easy. You can just blitz down the boss. You don't need to worry about any of the mechanics. If you do not take care of these little ripply things, you will eventually come encounter some problems, but it's pretty minor. I'm going to do it just to do it, but they're not 100% necessary. We might get to see a first limit break here. Let's see if Lucilia wants to do it. She's in range. Come on, Lucilla. Lemon break. Ah, Rena did it. Nice. And we got it anyway. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, travelers. That is our first dungeon more or less completed. Like I said, we're going to go on a brief little field trip after this, but good job to everybody. Tank did very well. It's a very good community. If you find a role that you like, I know tanking and healing is usually pretty, not stressful, because it's really not, but it's intimidating for a lot of people when they want to start out. They don't really know how they're going to be comfortable doing it. Just start. It's really not that bad. A lot of voices about to come up here, sorry. Oh, such a task was on the books. Was mined. I'm afraid that ship has already sailed, friend. Oh, another bear. Interesting. Ah, might you be the adventurer who accepted the job of investigating Sastasha? It would seem that that ship has not only sailed, but now returns to the harbor. None the worse for its voyage. A pity. We dragged our boots too long on this one. No matter, the wheel will turn and our chance will come. You are right, of course, but there shall be no rest till we have attained our goal, lofty though it may be. Not a wink of sleep, great leader. Our aim, lest you wonder, is to perform such feats of heroism as will earn us a place in the songs of every alehouse in Eorzea. We mean to write a legend which will inspire adventurers as yet unborn to follow our shining example. Do you have such a goal? Large or small, it matters not. Only have a star to reach, and you will reach higher. Purpose can sustain you through times of hardship. Keep your eye on the prize, and all obstacles will be overcome in time. You would not think to stride into battle unclad, would you? Well, goals are as arms and armor for the spirits. I wish you fortune in your endeavors, milady. That's actually quite sweet. I waved back at her. I don't have a webcam on, but I waved back at her. Y'all couldn't see that, but there you go. Back then, are ye, with all your limbs and a tail to tail, I wager. Fishbacks, and there I was thinking you'd only have to crack a pirate skull or 3. 7 hells, you turn your back for 5 bloody minutes and the scaly bastards have set up shop on your bleeding doorstep. Still, sounds like you've left them in pieces, so I don't suppose they'll be carrying out whatever mischief was planning. Unless they was planning on feeding themselves to the fawn of Sastasha, of course. Any road, all's well that ends well. On behalf of Limsa, I thank you for shedding some light on this mystery. You've lived up to your reputation, and I couldn't ask for more than that. Now, I bet you'll be dying for a rest, just in case you're not. I was wondering if you might be interested in taking on another job. It so happens that I've had a request from our sister guild in Gridania, see? Seems the forest folk in need of an adventurer what can get things done. For them to ask for help like this, you bet the task won't be no skip through a sunny glade. But after the way you dealt with our fishback infestation, I doubt it's anything you can't handle. Give us a shout when you're ready, and I'll lay it out for you. Go ahead and accept that one. Party Finder unlocked. Level 31. Ready to hear about that job? Like I said, the request comes from our sister guild in Gridania. And that's all I know. But whatever it is you get asked to do, I somehow doubt it poses much trouble for an adventurer aside the bedlam as Sastasha. I think you might be interested. If you think ye might be interested, I hate this man. You'll want to have words with Mother Mione, me counterpart in Gridania. Good luck, lass. Your counterpart who I can actually read and understand. God damn.